Hey, what's going on? Ed Fletcher here, and I wanted to jump on and talk about race, royals, skin tone, and I guess being black. Hollywood was the fourth category I put in there. This was primarily sort of stirred about through what happened with the royals and the Oprah Winfrey interview. For those of you who were living in a cave, Oprah Winfrey interviewed Magan Markel and Prince Harry, I guess, and it was revealed that Magan Markel's, the family asked indirectly about the skin tone of the baby, and basically asking, is this baby gonna be black? And as you know, Magan Markel is very light-skinned, but through genetics, it's quite possible that she could have been darker than that. And I don't know what the skin tone of her mother is. Her father is white, but my post about that was that it wasn't surprising that a white family would raise questions or have concerns about whether the baby will be blacker than them or the implications on their family. That's something that I had always assumed would be an issue within white families marrying people of color. So I was thinking about when I first became aware of that, or my perceptions. I remember in high school, I forget how it came up, but I remember sitting around with a few friends from student government, and we were talking about interracial dating, and it came up, and we were talking about whether or not our families would feel comfortable in that sort of situation, and I think I may have disclosed that my immediate parents would have been fine with it, but I know that I would have received negative pressure from my grandmother. Grandmother grew up in Arkansas, and it's a different really world there, and I noticed the pressure that she put on my cousins, and some of the white people around the circle admitted that it would be issues with their parents as well. So that's something that's always sort of been in the back of my mind, and thinking about interracial dating. It's knowing that there will be internal conflict within the family. So that was, to me, kind of a no-brainer that the royals would raise this question, and it sort of odd to me that Magan Markel was so naive about the situation going into it. I hope that situation has spurred a conversation that goes much beyond the royals, because I think the royals are a stupid institution and doesn't really reflect modern day values. Race and skin tone is an issue within the black race, but also within the broader race. Quick story, at Southern University, it, by its sort of composition, had more people that happened to be light-skinned, that were of mixed race, that were descendants of slave owners that had come to Southern University, because that was in part kind of the rationale for creating it, so that those slave owners who had a place to send their children. But skin tone was an issue on campus there, where we noticed, and I wrote about, that the dancing dolls were primarily light-skinned. And the instructor at that pointed out that they're not as light as you think, because we make them wear these leggings that make their legs look lighter. Which also still raised other questions about that. Outside of within the black culture, the broader Hollywood culture and society at large is slighted towards light-skinned people. If you look around Hollywood, and it may be breaking down to a certain extent, but the people who get hired in Hollywood are light-skinned people that are more towards the spectrum of white. And that's not by accident. That's the Hollywood establishment and institutional racism playing a hand in that. And beyond that, those few roles that are for African Americans, so for so many years, those roles were taken away or they were given to other races for commercial purposes. And that extends beyond black, it extends to Hispanic American and Asian American. Been issue with several prominent Asian American stories lately where they quote unquote whitewashed the story by adding the white character instead of the black character for commercial reasons. Now that's just an example of institutional racism, not necessarily that any of the players involved, the producers, the financiers, and the theater owners are functionally racist, but their collective actions in deciding that they need a Bradley Cooper in every movie, in effect, is racist. And that's what we mean when we talk about institutional racism. All right, I got a mess to clean up here. Darla has done some work. Thank you for listening to me and talk about this. Please continue to talk about race and share and help others through this difficult conversation. It's not easy to kind of put the past behind when we've had so little training or programming to do that. But please search resources and ask questions, and we'll get through this. Thanks a lot. Ever forward. Talk to you later.